Okay, so this video is going to be really gentle and restorative. So this is the other side of our yoga practice that we need just as much as the active strengthening asana. So this is all about no judgment, just working with what you have, both in your body and in your props, and trying to be fully present, just listening, seeing what comes up. You might recall that the whole purpose of yoga is a connection with God, so we do all that moving so that we can be still. There's a great quote that says the mind never finds what it's seeking when it's busy. It happens when it's quiet. So that's what we're going for here. I have a yoga bolster. It's like a big pillow, but you don't really need that. We're going to use it at the end. You could take anything really, a bed pillow or a pool noodle, or I have this little kind of a half foam roller. So just starting with something that you could wrap a blanket around to make it a little fuller so that it has a similar shape to the bolster, because we'll roll our spine down on that at the end. Okay? You might also want to use it for padding, some padding for your knees. So we're going to start, as we always do, by paying attention to the breath. So just sitting quietly. You could sit up on your bolster or a block if your hips are tight and you can't get your pelvis straight or spine straight. So if you're rocked back at all, sit up on a block or a chair. And just start to pay attention to your breath. So as we spend these 15 or 20 minutes just getting quiet, my invitation is going to be for you to just work on being fully present. And if you get distracted, bring your attention right back to your belly, to your breath. So we use the breath to ease deeper into the pose. One more deep inhale and exhale. Make sure the shoulders are nice and soft, back of the neck long. Floating your eyes open, we're going to come to all fours and just make sure that our spine is nice and supple. So hands spread wide, pushing to the thumb side of the hands. We're going to gently inhale, arch, and exhale, hollow out. Do that 2 more times, inhaling gently, arch, and exhaling, hollow out. 1 more time, inhaling gently, arch, and exhaling, hollow out. And then come on back to neutral. We're going to have a seat on one hip. I'm sitting on my right hip. My left feet are pointed toward the side. As you inhale, get really, really tall, and exhale, twist away from your feet. We're going to stay here quietly for just 5 breaths. So either close your eyes or find one place to rest your gaze. Exhaling, softening. And inhaling, gently coming on back. And we're going to swing our feet around right to the other side. So again, remember, it's just using the exhales to go a little deeper into the pose if it feels right for you. Right? So just listen to your body. Inhale, get really, really tall. And exhaling, twist. gently release. Good. And then we're going to come to easy seated pose. Again, I've got my right foot in front. I'm going to inhale, get really, really tall. And exhale, just walk myself forward. You're going to feel a nice stretch in the hip of the front leg. That's my right leg. Just a couple breaths here. Even if you only go forward like a quarter of an inch, and keep your spine straight. So feeling the extension from the crown of the head upward and the hips downward into the floor. Maybe on an exhale you go a little deeper. On an inhale, gently releasing up. I'm going to take that front leg, my right leg, and I'm just going to stretch it out to the side. So you might already feel a nice stretch in the inner thigh here. This leg is nice and soft. You can keep this leg bent if you need a little bit, right? Take the opposite arm way up. And exhaling, gently fold toward your leg. Right, so I've got my right arm. I'm leveraging my right arm to open up my chest. Get that big, deep stretch on the left side. You could just let the right foot relax, right? Or you could draw the toes way back. Inhaling gently, come on up. And just twist away from that extended leg for a moment. And release. And we'll go the same thing on the other side. So now I've got my left foot crossed in front. Might feel completely different on this side. You get really, really tall, and then exhaling, folding forward. Breathing into that hip, just letting it open up. Slowly and gently. On your inhale, come on up and extend that leg out to the side, feeling that nice stretch in the inner thigh. Inhale, get tall on the other side, and then exhale, gently folding over. So taking your time to settle in, right? You can use that arm for leverage. You can have the foot relaxed or draw the toes way back. So activating the quadricep muscle, squeezing the top of your thigh will help release the back of the leg. And then gently inhaling, come on back up. And a counter pose, just exhale, gently twist. Good. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees again for a chest opener. So this is like kind of like downward dog. A little more subtle. So I'm going to take my right forearm and fold it in so that my head can rest on my forearm, and then I'm going to reach my left arm way forward and just work on dropping my shoulder toward the floor. Just breathe, letting that shoulder girdle open up. Left arm is straight. That's how we get that nice stretch. So these gentle, subtle movements are really great for our lymphatic system. So that fluid only gets moved around by the movement of our body. It's not like blood flow. If we don't move, it just stays static and stale. So pull your low belly in, bring your left hand back. Come on back to your elbows for a moment. Again, just noticing a difference from one side to the other. So my hips are pretty much right over my knees still. I'm going to fold my left forearm in Gently rest my head and then reach my right arm way forward and drop my rib cage toward the floor. Couple of breaths. And then bring your right elbow back in, coming to both elbows. So let's try that both arms at once. You're going to walk your arms way forward, lifting your elbows toward the ceiling. So the important thing in here is to keep your elbows straight. And maybe your forehead can drop to the mat again, feeling nice and open from that preparation. So if you're feeling like you'd like to go deeper, maybe on an inhale you lift your head and you take your chin toward the mat. Just breathe. Soften the brow. One more deep exhale. And then pull your low belly in, inhaling, using your hands to bring yourself back. So we're going to take a child's pose here. If you have trouble being on your knees, just flip on your back and draw your knees to your chest, holding the backs of your thighs. So you're going to make the same shape with your body. Or if you had a block or a blanket or something to help support you, right? You can get lots of support. You want to take your hips back towards your heels to the best of your ability. Remember, just working with what you have. Take a few breaths. So these forward folds are great for activating our parasympathetic nervous system, that side that enables us to be still. On an inhale, if you're on your knees, pull your low belly in. Come on back up, and we're going to shift ourselves back onto our back. If you're already on your back, you can just stay where you are. We're going to do one more gentle hip stretch. So I'm going to cross my right ankle over my left thigh, and then I'm going to draw my left leg in, holding the back of my thigh. Feet are just relaxed. Back of the neck is long. Just a few breaths here. It would feel good to rock from side to side a little bit. See how that feels. And come on back to stillness. Again, this part of the practice is just as important as the active part. So go ahead and spread your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Maybe take your arms out to the side and just windshield wiper your knees like 3 times each side. And then come on back up, bring your feet back in line with your hips, and cross your left ankle over your right thigh. And again, reaching in if you can. Just feel the body relax. Tongue comes off the roof of the mouth. Just let it rest behind your back teeth. You rock your hips from side to side. And then come on back to stillness. So releasing that pose, maybe windshield wiper your feet again, your knees again. then gently rolling to one side so that you can use your hand to push yourself up safely. We're going to roll onto that prop or bolster. So again, you could use something balled up, a couple of beach towels. The goal is to have your head supported, so you'll be far enough away from your prop so that your head lands on the end, or you could put a block back there. So the closer your hips are to the prop, the more of a back bend it's going to feel like. So I'm pretty far away. And if my head is not supported, I could always, like I said, find a way to support it with a block. Or you can get a yoga bolster. There's a great website called yogaccessories.com. This is about the length of my spine, and I'm going to put my hips right up against it. You could do this with several bed pillows too. And then I'm going to allow my spine to roll down onto it. I'm going to take my arms out to the side. For now, my knees are going to stay bent. It's safer on the low back. So just settle in here. Using this gentle chest opener to help us be open to the spirit, to the energy of the universe, to the way that we're all connected. I'm going to take my arms a little higher up in like the shape of a V. Feel that shoulder stretch again. If you don't have props or you're concerned about your spine, you can just lay in Shavasana and do these exercises right with your back on the floor. I'm going to take my arms overhead, keep the back of my neck long, and let my thumbs reach down toward the floor. Yours might make it. And on an exhale, I'm going to bring my arms back down by my side. If it's safe for your low back, you might want to let your legs stretch out, toes flopping open. We're going to use this pose as our Shavasana, the most important pose of all. So again, you could just lay on your back, tune into your breath, and just be fully present. No more work until you hear my voice again. Take a deep exhale. And then before you begin moving, check in with your body and notice if there's anywhere that still feels like it's holding tension. And send an exhale there and see if you can release somewhere a little bit more. And then start to make some small motions, fingers, toes, ankles, wrists. So know that if it's difficult for you to be still in Shavasana, it's a practice. Ideally, you want to get to where you can do that for 8 or 10 minutes. That ability to be still and fully present to yourself So to come off the bolster or to come up to seated, you're just going to gently roll to one side and push yourself up to seated. So the ability to be still and fully present is really important, and it really can change the way you react off the mat, choosing your response instead. So keep your eyes closed, sitting up tall. On an inhale, take your arms right up past your ears overhead. It's a reminder to listen. We need both the active and the action. Exhaling, bring your hands to your heart center and the stillness and the quiet. On your next exhale, bow your head to your own heart. Give yourself that mental pat on the back for taking care of yourself in these few moments of stillness, quiet, stretching. The Spirit in me honors the Spirit in you. Godspeed.